Parshas boy, Tovshanai Ches. I want to welcome everybody back here tonight. Very festive mood, lots of good Toyameh for Shabbos. While everyone's enjoying, let's get on with this week's shir. The pasuk says, "The avarti be'eretz Mitzrayim balayla hazeh." HaKadosh Baruch Hu is talking and saying that Makas B'choros is going to happen, and Hashem says, "The avarti be'eretz Mitzrayim balayla hazeh." I, Kaviyachol, will go through Mitzrayim on this night. The Kesi Kol B'chor be'eretz Mitzrayim. Every firstborn in Mitzrayim will be smitten. Every firstborn will die. May Adam ad behema. Uvachol Elohei Mitzrayim es Shefatim Ani Hashem. Many of us are familiar with this pasuk. First of all, because we talk so much about it, Pesach night. Speaking of Pesach night, in this week's parsha we also have HaChodesh Elochem. We talk about Pesach, Korban Pesach, and that gives us our first little feelings that spring might be on the way one day, right? According to Beis Shammai, Rosh Chodesh Shvat is already Rosh Hashanah Le'ilana, so we passed that. Another week and a half will be at Tu B'Shvat, so maybe it's on the way. The pasuk continues as follows: V'hoya hadom lochem la'ois. You're going to put blood on the doorpost, right? Al habatim, on the homes there will be blood. V'lo yeh bochem negev lamashus. That you are going to put blood on your homes, and if there's blood on your door, we're going to know that the mashchis, that the malach that will be going around the triangle, and in this case was actually Hashem dechvoidei va'atzmai did it. Hashem saying that there will not be rishus to destroy if there is blood on your door. And the Nesivos Shalom says that we need to understand here why davka by makas b'choros was there a necessity for a sign. Like we said, the blood on the door, we needed a sign to differentiate between the Jews and the Mitzrayim. Why all of a sudden by Makas B'choros? It would seem that by all the previous Makas, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was very well able to differentiate without a sign. We see by Makas Dever, the Torah tells us that the animals of the Mitzrayim died, and those of the Bnei Yisrael stayed alive. Same thing we found by Choshech. It was dark for the Mitzrayim in this week's parsha, but when it came to the places of Klal Yisrael, it was light. So we see that Hashem was very able to differentiate between a Jew and a Mitzri by all the other makkahs. Why over here did Hashem ask for a sign? Especially by this makkah where the Torah tells us that this makkah was executed by HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. As we all know, Lo yayidei malach, Hashem himself was carrying out Makas B'choros. So if Hashem himself is carrying it out, of course he can differentiate between a Mitzri and a person of Klal Yisrael. Why the necessity all of a sudden for some kind of sign? So the Nesivos Shalom tells us that really there are two distinct parts of Yetzias Mitzrayim. There was the part of Yetzias Mitzrayim where there was a geula from the Shibud Mitzrayim. Until now, for so many years, we were enslaved, we were hard at work in Mitzrayim, and now we are out of Mitzrayim. That's the first part of Geulas Mitzrayim, that now we don't have to work anymore. The second part is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, by setting us free, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was choosing Klal Yisrael as his nation, as the Am HaNivchar, as the chosen nation. And there are parts of Yetzias Mitzrayim that are connected to the actual Geula, and then there are other parts which are actually connected to us, Klal Yisrael, becoming the chosen nation. And by Makas B'choros, says in the Nesivos Shalom, there were both parts. There was the smiting of the firstborn, that every B'chor Mitzrayim died. That's the first part of Geula. That's the part of Geulas Mitzrayim that was in the Makas B'choros. And then there was also, as part of Makas B'chayros, it was the point at which we became the chosen nation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And both of those things were in Makas B'chayros. The pasuk tells us in Bamidbar Perek Ches, the pasuk is talking about when we left Mitzrayim by Makas B'chayros. The pasuk says, B'yoim hakoisi kol b'chor be'eretz Mitzrayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, on the day that every one of the b'chor of Mitzrayim died, on that day, hikdashti oisamli. That's a pasuk in Bamidbar. On that day that all the b'chor of Mitzrayim died, all the b'choros were gone. On that day too, hikdashti oisamli. So what do we see? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling us that simultaneous, both of these principles, which the Nesivos Shalom speaks about, getting out of Mitzrayim and becoming the Am HaNivchar, both of these things happened at once by Makas B'chayros. Hikesi kol b'char and hikdashti oisamli. Now you became my chosen nation. You became the nation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And this is why the Torah tells us here, this is why the Torah tells us that you'll need the blood on your house as a sign. Why? Because of course, to punish the B'choros of Mitzrayim, it goes without saying that Hashem did not need a sign from any person in Mitzrayim to know who is a Yehudi and who is a Mitzri. Hashem didn't need that. The same way that the sign was not needed by all the other Makos, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is very well able to differentiate, of course the same thing would be and apply by Makas B'choros also. But Hashem wanted a sign for another reason. Hashem wanted the sign for the second part of Geula. And what is that? Hashem wanted us to show who is ready to be part of this Am HaNivchar that I want to choose now. Who is ready? Who is going to be ready to join up with that? Is this house that I'm coming to, is it a real, authentic Jewish house? And how do we know if it's an authentic Jewish house? We want to know that if it's a house of people that is ready to act and behave differently than you've been watching the Mitzrim do in Mitzrayim for so many years. We want to know if you're willing and able to act differently as an Am HaNivchar should. And therefore the pasuk tells us, says Nesivos Shalom, a beautiful deal, Ois al habatim, on the homes, on the house. The sign will be what your house represents. How you shtelavek your house. How you set the rules in your house. Do you act like a Mitzri? Do you give in to all your tithas? Or are you ready to be an Am HaNivchar, a nation that acts differently? And for that, Hashem wanted to see a sign on the homes. And that is exactly what the sign was for. In order we could actually sign up as a member of this prestigious Am HaNivchar. And how do we know that a person wants to be part of the Am HaNivchar? It means if you're ready to leave the Tumah Mitzrayim, you're ready to leave all of that behind. And you know what alludes to that? What's a very important sign to that is the fact that we were putting blood on the door of the house. Blood represents where we're showing that we're ready to pour our soul, to pour our blood into this. And that's what sets us apart as the chosen nation. We're not just ready to do Avodas Hashem. We're not just ready to do the things that come easy to us. But no, we're ready to leave the Tumah Mitzrayim. Leaving the Tumah Mitzrayim means to leave behind not the little things, the things that are easy to do. To leave behind the things that you desire most. And that's what's called dedicating yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. To be a representative in the Am HaNivchar, to be part of Hashem's chosen nation, it's not always easy. Any person is able to just go ahead and do the easy things. But when it comes to giving your blood, when it comes to sacrificing the things that a person by nature desires most, that is what sets you apart from the Mitzrim. That is what says that you are ready to be the Am HaNivchar. And Nesivos Shalom tells us that one mitzvah that is done like that with Mesiras Nefesh is worth 1,000 mitzvahs that are easy for us. Just think of that. An amazing, amazing idea. And the way of the Yetzer Hara is to keep us busy with trivial matters and never let us really focus on the things that we need to accomplish with Mesiras Nefesh. Sometimes says in Nesivos Shalom that the Yetzer Hara will be willing to let you learn some Torah, let you do some Chesed, or let you do anything that comes easy to you. But to do something with Mesiras Nefesh, something which is going to show that you are really connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Yetzer Hara will always try to stop you from that. He's going to let you do a lot of the easy things, but not the things which will make you sacrifice for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the Ikar of Yetzias Mitzrayim was the sign of the blood. And it wasn't to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu that this house is a Mitzri, this house is Yehudi. No, Hashem knew that very well, the same way he knew it by all the other Makkahs. But what HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to see was within Klal Yisrael, within the Yidden, Hashem wanted to see who is ready to sacrifice, who's ready to give their blood, who's ready to leave their lives with an Avodas Hashem, ready to sacrifice for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And this is really, says Nesivos Shalom, this is really what sets us apart. That we are a people who don't just do all our desires. We don't just do everything that comes in front of us. We're always ready to show Hashem a sign that we are here. There's a sign on our door, and today when we don't put blood on our door, the sign remains the same. Where it is our job to show in our homes that it's hard sometimes to do. It's so much easier to go along with every bishagas and every craziness of the world, follow what the world is doing, or everybody's doing it, so it must be good for us. The answer is no. We close our doors, and we put the sign on the door, and we say to Hashem, the buck stops here. The influence doesn't come into this door. I'm going to be different. I am ready to be a member of the Am HaNivchar.